There we go.
All right. Welcome. This is John with FFL Knights. Here with Esther with FFL Knights and Jessica Rodriguez with FFL Determination.
Determination.
Yep. And Esther with president of FFL
Resilience.
Resilience. There we go.
FFL resilience, because we have to be so resilient. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So we want to wish Jessica a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Jessica just turned 25 today.
Yes.
I'm telling you. That perfect skin, guys. She'll give you the secrets later.
Yep. Yeah. So Jessica, we'll go right into it. So how long have you been in the industry?
So I've actually been in the industry 6 years, going on 6 years now. I've worked at several other practice companies, and then now I finally made it over here.
Awesome.
So yeah.
So what did you do before? I know you've been in the industry. What did you do before FFL and why FFL?
So before FFL, I actually worked in hospitality for about 10 years. I worked in hotels just as a banquet server and bartender. I did that just because, single mom gave me a lot of flexibility to kind of be able to do what I needed. And then prior to that, I always worked in either some type of sales, phone rooms, customer service. And I feel like everything that I did prior to coming here certainly prepared me, for what we go through here, dealing with clients, dealing with our agents. So, but I've always been in a industry that, is a service, always service.
Nice. And that's big with what we're doing, basically
Absolutely.
serving families. So you've helped over 40 families in a month. Tell us some tips on how and why you were able to achieve this.
Yeah, that was that was amazing. Right after convention last year, 2021, I was very pumped. I'm sure you experienced the same thing. And I remember being out in the field and just having some rough days, no shows, drove 2 hours away, to be at appointments. And I remember I was just like, so many people are having success. And like right now, all I want to do is just go home. You know what I mean? And I remember what I did was I just kind of, again, I was very pumped from the convention. I just immersed myself into those YouTube videos. And I just remember thinking, if all these other people can do it, why can't I?
Absolutely.
And at that point, I just kind of made a decision. And when I made a decision, everybody in the YouTube videos, all the successful agents are telling you the how to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got to buy the leads, got to make the appointments. If you can do those two things, then the result is you get in front of people and you get to help families. And the result from that is you get to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, when I decided what I was going to do, I told my upline, I told Neil, I said, hey, this is what I want to do. So I'm putting it out there so that you can hold me accountable. And I went after it, I think for me, just really staying very engaged in the trainings and the YouTube videos, that really helped to keep my mind right.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to that, I was tracking everything. I was tracking all the calls I was making. I was tracking all the appointments. I was tracking every bit of money that I was spending in leads, right? And by me being able to track what I was doing month by month, I was able to get better and better until I got to that $40,000 in a month.
Wow.
Excuse me, being able to help 40 families in a month.
Yes. Incredible, Jessica. What do you think is the reason why people fail at our business, or the reason or reasons that people fail at our business?
Yeah. I think the reason that people come into this industry is because that, they're actually looking for freedom. They're looking to be their own boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to work for myself. I don't want somebody telling me, what to do. But I think there's a huge misconception. Freedom doesn't mean that you coming here, being your own boss doesn't mean that you now get to do whatever you want, and you get to work the hours that you want. You actually have to put in more work. And the opportunity here and putting that work here, I think it allows us to reach that level of freedom a little bit, sooner in life, right? But it's that misconception, coming here, you got to do a lot of work. I'm sure you've heard the process that, what we do is simple, but it takes a lot of hard work.
Absolutely. Esther, did you want to add anything to it or ask her anything?
Yeah. So, Jessica, I mean, there's a lot of, nuggets in there, and just, obviously making the decision to be committed to this. And like how you said, tracking the calls, appointments, how much money you were spending, the expenses, all of that stuff. So in your perspective of this opportunity, compare this to what it is to be salaried, because, we talked about, obviously we come from the same industry, hospitality. When you're in those salary positions, or if it's an hourly position, what's the difference in your perspective for an opportunity like this? Because I think that needs to be put out on the table for people, because they're used to a certain thing. And you just said that there's a lot of hard work, but just the mentality behind that is where I'm going with it.
I think you have to treat it the same way. You know what I mean? When you're working for somebody, you're actually committing, and you're saying, I'm going to show up at a certain time, and when I get there, I'm going to do my best to represent your company, and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to do the service, and I'm going to do whatever needs to be done, and at the end of my day, I'm going to clock out. You have to kind of keep that same mentality, right? Even though, and I think, again, we have the ability to clock in and out as we want to. And I think that can be really dangerous, but you have to treat this still like a 9 to 5, or like a 9 to 9, or whatever that is, right? Whatever those hours are for you, that are required in order for you to reach those goals that you have. The difference is here. This is the difference. You can go out there and you can work hard for somebody, right? And you can get paid, minimum wage for that. But the reward is so much bigger here. Not only the financial reward, but the internal reward, the growth that comes with it. You know what I mean? I think that this business requires a lot of truth too. And I don't think everybody's ready to be honest with themselves.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because even when I was sitting at the Hall of Fame meeting yesterday, they were given so many nuggets on, like Dom Rogers was given so many nuggets on things that we do, or things that we say we're going to do that we never do, and even when I'm having conversations, you can hear in the tone of somebody's voice if they're really doing something, or they're just kind of giving you lip service. So that is powerful. Yeah, that is super powerful. And the fact that you're right, most people do need to have themselves on a schedule, because they're like, I think the whole mentality of a business owner is when they think that you're a business owner now, that you can do whatever you want, but that comes with responsibility. Yeah, absolutely. You can go to, you can make your own schedule, but like, even if I have to take my son to an appointment or something like that, I'm still responsible for making sure that those numbers are where they need to be. And Neil's not going to jump down our throat about it, but I still have to be responsible. And sometimes that's the worst thing, is that nobody's going to say anything to you if you don't do what you're supposed to do. So
exactly.
And I think that's the scary thing, because like she said earlier about accountability, people find accountability when they're working for someone. They don't have any accountability when they're in it for themselves. I mean, it's funny when you think about it, and it's backwards, but that lets you know the little amount of investment we find in ourselves, that we find in people that, I mean, they're your upline, they're the person that you report to, they're your manager, but there's nothing personal there. That's basically all that it is. But we'll give them more than what we give ourselves, and then more than we believe in ourselves. So that's that can be concerning, but yeah, I think you nailed it right on the head there. The other thing I wanted to ask was, in what way has this been impactful for your family? I know you said, you're a single mom. I share that same flight with you. And I just, kind of want to know what that has done, in the way of like blessing your family.
I mean, it's been amazing. I mean, being a single mom, my daughter's my best friend, and I mean, she's my rock. She's my number one cheerleader, but she's also seen me, fall hard.
Mm.
And then she's also seen me get back up. She sees a lot of what goes on in this business. And I mean, I have to say that a lot of what we go through and the growth that we go through, that's now been instilled in her.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, my daughter she works hard. She's a student. She works. She's involved in, she does a lot of volunteering and just some of the conversations that we have. I said, man, if it wasn't for, me being in the industry and the growth and the things that I've experienced, I wouldn't be hearing what I'm hearing right now.
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So,
awesome.
Yeah. Did you have something else, Esther?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did I answer your question?
No, it did. It did. And I was going to lead into what is her interpretation, of what you do, because I feel like, doing something like this, you're more of a role model to your kids than, I mean, obviously, people, you see mom, dad, come home from work, people are tired and stuff like that. Sometimes they really don't talk about their day. But I feel like, for us and the growth that happens over time, like you said, she's seen some low points. I mean, she's seen you, fall and get back up. And when I think about how your agency, FFL Determination, I mean, that's it right there. But I mean, what is her interpretation of what you do?
I mean, she knows at the end of the day, it's funny because I share all the stories with her, the claims we've done, the families that it took me weeks to get to them. I probably shouldn't have been there. And here I end up in this family's house, and 6 weeks later, now they're gone. But because of all the efforts, everything that we went through, and I'm talking, somebody tries to cancel the appointment. You're maybe as an agent, you're not having the best day. You're not feeling well. Your car, the battery on your car, goes out. Like, it's just all these little things, but somehow you just make it there and you show up and you realize, man, this family's life would have been completely different. So she knows the power of what I do and why I do it. And I think that's why she's so understanding and supportive. I think one of the biggest struggles for me personally has been just kind of finding that work-life balance, right?
Absolutely.
Because you do have to put a lot of effort and you have to put a lot of time and work into this, and time into you, into developing yourself. And but she gets it and she supports it. She understands what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. But I have to stop sometimes and say, all right, it's our time now.
There you go.
My undivided attention.
Yes.
Throw it on me. And there's a lot that happens there.
Yeah. And I think that's so important, because spending that quality time, because there really isn't a work-life balance with it, because you're trying for these goals that take so much out of you.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome that, you can just close it up and say, hey, we need to spend some time, because you really have to do that, because those people are cheering you on, and they deserve your time, so.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to have those difficult conversations. You have to hear those, like, I'm not, as a mom, I need more. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not, by no means am I perfect. I make mistakes, and I just try to do better, So, and luckily I have a relationship where she can be honest with me. And then I'm able to respond to that.
Right.
Good. So why do you think FFL is the best opportunity out there?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of life insurance companies. There's a lot of FMOs, IMOs, right? Agencies. And I've worked for, like I said, several of them before coming here. For me, what really stood out is obviously the number one obvious thing is the compensation, the ability to start at high comp and know that just because I start at high comp doesn't mean that still this is where I stay. I still have the ability to work and to keep increasing my compensation. But more than that, you actually have here, you can come in here, and if you, and I think the biggest thing about FFL, Family First Life, is just the culture, right? And once you fall in love with the culture, I think, you know, it can bring out a big desire to really want to grow an agency with a company. But growing an agency isn't for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, there's people that want to come in here and they just want to help families make money, feed their families, go out there because that's a lot of fun too. You know, I did that for years. The difference is that I was not being compensated the same. So you can come here and you have the option to do this business how you want. And if you want to, you know, just be out there, be a producer, help families and still continue to increase your compensation level, you can do it that way. You don't have to grow an agency to keep growing. And you don't, you know, it's not one or the other. There's so many options as to how you can grow here.
I think you make a great point because a lot of companies, like a lot of companies that have really low comp, that's their whole model is they want to get as many people in as possible. But you do have a choice to come to FFL and decide how you want to find out. And some people are so beat up when they come here, so the only thing they can do is just write for themselves because they have to kind of build themselves back up. You know, because they talk a lot about people that have came from other companies, like we talk about the practice companies we came from, and really got beat up, and they just need a breath just to be able to be responsible for themselves, and then sometimes go into that role. So it's good that that's there and it's not pressure, and that the whole model's not built on you building the team, because I know a lot of companies out there, that's what the whole model's built on. So
exactly. Yeah, I mean, you have options here, and what I love here is that no matter what option you choose, it's not like you can't change your mind somewhere down the road, right? Just because I started as a producer doesn't mean that a year or two later I can't decide, hey, I really want to grow this thing and I want to offer this opportunity to other people and keep growing. So you can make that decision at any time. And I think that here, I think the more that everybody's accessible. You can reach out to anybody. You can talk to the CEO. You can talk to, top producers, top leaders, top agency owners, and everybody's always willing to have the conversation and willing to help. And I love that. I love that because the bonds and the relationships that you form, I mean, they're amazing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, you faced a lot of challenges during your short career, relative being in the hospital, COVID, growth challenges. How have you been able to overcome everything and keep moving forward?
I think for me, I mean, at the end of the day, I still have a life and I still have to feed my family, right? And I think, the world doesn't stop, right? Your world may slow down or the world out there may slow down, right? Like, for example, when COVID happened, right? The world kind of just stopped. But you have to remember why you're doing this. What's the reason you're doing this? And if you can remember that, right? I mean, that's the fuel to keep going. I have to say for me, I mean, I'm also just inspired by other people, you, Esther, Neil, all the people that I work with. There's been times, weeks, months where I've been down and then all of a sudden Esther comes out the gates and I say, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. I got to get back out there. And it really is inspiring, and not in like I want to compete against you type of way. It's like, she's doing it. You know what I mean? I need to get out of this mental, whatever that is, So.
Yeah, and that's what the great thing about being on a team and having so many great people on the team is they do drive you. I know, like when when somebody's going through something and then you see them pop back out. I mean, you're so happy for them. Yes. Esther, you got yeah. Esther, what else do you got?
You know what? No, I think that Jessica, you covered everything. I mean, I don't think that it could have been explained better than the way that you explained it. And just to piggyback off of what you said, the inspiration that I get from you, that I get from John, from Neil, I have to tell you, being in the business that I've been in for such a long time, I never experienced just the type of love, the transparency, the support, just people cheering you on, than what I have here. Because honestly, in all of those other industries, what should have been cheering people on was the, talking behind backs and, being very unprofessional and just not, just being plain mean, and it's like here, everybody's happy for you. There's no hater mentality going on. And I think that's so good, and getting together with you guys, the conferences, any other type of trainings that we've been, I mean, it's just, the world lights up. When you come in, Jessica, the world lights up. Literally, all of us light up.
Yeah. Thank you.
We love Jessica, everybody. We just need you to know that.
And I love you guys too.
Yeah. So Jessica, go ahead, Esther. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Well, John and I fight for the lip service. You you can't already tell, we're super competitive. Okay.
Yeah. I can't.
She is.
We've hung out a few times.
Yeah, she is.
I know.
Yeah. So Jessica, if someone wants to get in touch with you, they want to work with you, how do they get in touch with you?
They can actually reach me 2 ways. My cell, that's 407-902-5044. And also my email, which is FFLdetermination@outlook.com.
Awesome, Jessica. So we appreciate you being on today, and hopefully you're having a party the rest of this week. And happy birthday again. And hopefully you're getting everything you want.
Absolutely. So. Yes. I'll check in next year on my birthday.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, John.
All right, take care.
Oh, thank you, Jen.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.